Wait a minute. Okay.
Okay, and hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this online session on research, rest, resilience, sustaining yourself in graduate school. My name is Yichen, and I will be the moderator today. And today we are fortunate to have Jennifer Jiaxin in sharing her insights with us. Jennifer is the PhD candidate in multilingual language education at the Ohio State University, where she pursues interdisciplinary specializations in quantitative research methods and cognitive and brain sciences. Her research focuses on bilingualism, multilingualism, language assessment, and the role of AI and technology in education. Beyond her academic work, she's deeply committed to fostering student well-being and promoting strategies for sustainable research journeys. Jennifer currently serves as the chair of the TESOL Graduate Research Forum and the webinar group chair of the International Language Testing Association Graduate Student Assembly. This session is organized by Dr. Vahi, and we appreciate his effort in bringing this important conversation to our community. And during today's presentation, Jennifer will explore practical strategies for building balance, resilience, and intentionality in the graduate journey. She will share valuable insights on understanding your working style, managing time with structured flexibility, and reframing self-care as an essential component of productivity. Our session today will run for approximately 40 to 45 minutes. Jennifer will share her presentation for about 30 minutes, followed by 10 to 15 minutes for questions and discussion. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat at any time during Jennifer's talk, and we will address them during the Q&A portion. And without further delay, please join me in welcoming Jennifer. And Jennifer, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Yichen, for a wonderful introduction. It's such a pleasure to be here and talk about this topic. And it's very special because it's non-academic, but it's very significant to our life. So today I'll talk about the well-being. Share the screen. Great. Okay, so the topic today is research, rest, resilience, sustaining yourself in graduate school. First of all, again, welcome everyone, whether you are in Singapore or any corner of this planet, especially for people who are in grad school or in your early scholarly career. So I haven't really visited Singapore yet, but I got connecting flight there, and I have my friends and family visits there before. And my friends told me that there's a culture in Singapore, which is more like a mindset, which is called Gansu culture, which is fear of losing. It's just like a mindset of being competitive, cautious, or eager to get ahead. And this culture represents people in Singapore drive for excellence and desire to maximize opportunities in a highly competitive society. And I really feel that because from where I originate from, Taiwan, we were raised and educated in such culture that sometimes you need to just be excel with like outperform with other people, and sometimes you compare yourself so much with other people. And well, it worked somehow when we were little, but as you know, when we grow up, when we are adult learners now, this kind of mindset sometimes actually can burn us out. So I bet you guys are very good, like intelligently, very well. So here's a quote from thousands of years ago from Socrates. He said, "We need to know yourself." So he mentioned the unexamined life is not worth living. So he emphasized the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom through self-examination and critical questioning to achieve a virtuous life. And I bet people in the Singaporean culture or people from Asian culture are very aware of that. And so here are some questions I'd like you to think about of what kind of working style you have. And to know that there's no one size fits all method to keep your life in balance. Some questions you can think about, like what kind of working style do you thrive in? And when does your brain work best? In what time? In what pattern? And how do you process your life stress, failure, motivation, or growth? So these are really good warm-up questions for you to take home and think about before we talk about the well-being. In other dimensions of life, like non-academic, like non-intelligence, intelligent dimension. And keep in mind that the more we understand ourselves, the more intentional and sustainable our research lives can be. So, life is very precious, and time is the foundation of our precious life. So, I just want to talk very quickly about the time management for our grad students. For example, some tips to share to have structural flexibility. Some of us really like cram ourselves or have a very packed schedule every day without flexibility. That's very ambitious and it serves you the best when it works. But if it's not, then it's a good time to check out to reflect yourself and see if there's some flexibility can come in. Second is protecting your deep work, where I will come back in the very end about this concept. For people working in academia, deep work really matters. As we know, when you go into the flow, then you can work the best and most efficiently. So block the time for yourself and protect your deep work time. And again, it varies from person to person, and you can take it home and think about when and how works best for you. And also prioritization. Of course, it's important to learn to say no because our time is so limited and there are so many tasks we want to do as we are all like want to be like outperformers and achievers. So focus on the tasks that go with the degree of completion of your career, of your degree. And you probably know about this, the Pomodoro, it's in Italian, it's tomato. So break down large writing tasks into chunks. For example, you can set like writing for 25 minutes and take a break for 5 minutes, or writing for 45 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever time you want, or whatever time that works best for you, and take a break. So the whole point for this method is you take break, you take rest in between your writing tasks or your work. And finally, it's a support system. And really want to stress this, and I'll come back to this in the back too. You are never working alone, even though it seems like you're always working alone in grad school. And it's such a long journey, and sometimes it's a journey of solitude. But please know that there are resources outside your classroom, outside your program, or even outside your university. So do reach out and build up your own support system. All right. So how do you take care of yourself? We're not going to talk about intelligence today. We're talking about these other 5 dimensions of our life. For example, physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual. So now we're going to look at them one by one. So physical self-care, I know it's really sound like cliche to say eat well, sleep well, and move more, but it's very true in your life. Like ask your grandparents if these are the truth in our life, or look at the research. So we know this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's established from the very basic needs of physiological needs, have food, water, warmth, and rest, to safety needs, belonging and love, self-esteem, and self-actualization. So if the lower level of needs are not satisfied, none of the above level needs can be satisfied in a good way. Very important. So eat well, sleep well, and move more. And if you go to the research, you can see a lot of studies is about why we need sleep. And some people really ignore this part. Like, for example, I think I need like 8 to 9 hours of sleep every day. And um, there's a TED Talk about why we sleep. It has scientific research to support that it is significant for our mental and physical body to sustain the well-being when we have enough sleep. So another point is about to move more physically, fitness class. I personally really love fitness class at my school. So I go to yoga, I go swimming, I go running, I do dancing, a lot of them. I try everything. And I schedule myself to two to three times per week and trying to do it more. But what about for people who say they don't have enough time to going out? Then even small movements like stretches or just move your body around. Like right now, I'm presenting while I'm standing actually. So avoid yourself to sitting all day long. That can really help and increase your health. Another tip to do exercise for people who, some people are like, oh, I really don't like to do sports or exercise. I really hate to, being sweating. And you can do it in a group. Like for me, I have fitness friends. I have friends who go out to the gym together and we don't talk about academia. We talk about the fitness class. Oh, we talk about the fun and interesting things in our life. And that can help you to, get away from your work and being relaxed. And they are research supported about mind body connection and burnout intervention. So basically, it's about if you move your body well, then your mind and brain can function well as well. And there's research supported. Next is emotional self-care. It's related to reaction to other people, to people around you, to your research when you deal with stressful situations. So I found these practical strategies that you can use to practice your emotional intelligence when you're under pressure. So these 12 sentences are not steps. They are not in a chronological order. They are just 12 different strategies that you can use. And the point of emotional self-care is about your metacognition. So you know what you know. You know what else to talk about or think about. Simply having that self-awareness. And my friend shared with me there's a 3 why strategy. It's basically ask yourself three reasons, like why. Why, for example, if you feel stressed out from your paper or your research, and then you ask yourself, why do you feel this? So you ask yourself 3 times about the reasons, about the why of feeling this anxiety or worry so that you can narrow down and to know the reasons. Maybe because of it's a short notice, because of a pressing deadline, because you don't know how to start with it, or because you're a perfectionist, so you want to do it so well and you are just avoid to do that because you're afraid that it wouldn't be perfect and so on and so on. So, it's like really dig deep into the root of that issue and know why, oh, you have this kind of feelings inside you and all of these emotions. And then you choose to have different perspective of it. It's okay to feel angry, to feel sad, to feel jealous about someone. It's okay to feel all of these negative feelings and emotions, but it's important for us to shift that perspective into a positive mindset. So I have negative, positive, fixed, and growth mindsets. So for people as you know, have growth mindsets, they see obstacles as opportunities. They see difficulties as hope, right? So when you really to know yourself and find a reason behind all these emotions, then you can choose. You can control your emotion and you can choose what ways and methods to deal with it. Great. And I want to talk about mental self-care. It's kind of similar to emotional self-care, but it's mainly about yourself. And I really love this part because I personally value inner peace a lot. It's more like if I'm not at peace with myself today, and then I'm not at peace with anybody today. So I avoid that situation to happen. Center your inner peace. Love who you are, to accept as who you really are, embrace your weakness as much as your strengths. And again, try not to, or just do not compare yourself with others because you'll always find someone who's better than you in anything else. And if you choose to compare yourself with others, then you are so ready to be unwell, as you know. Another strategy I love is self-affirmation. So I have the mantra app that it pops up different self-affirmation every hour, and it works for me. It have the sentences, for example, very simple, but for people who are not at peace, for people who are worried or anxious for whatever reasons, when you see that simple positive sentence as much as you can, you do feel the stability. For example, or you can just tell yourself, I'm worthy, I'm enough, I'm safe, I'm secure, I'm powerful because of the peace, love, and grace within our heart and within our soul. So self-talk, positive self-talk especially, the research supports that when our brain is what we can program into a mechanism that help us to function well. So you want all the positive input in your brain, in your mind, in your heart that helps you to do positive achievements, right? So being positive is really important. Okay, and here's something that you can really use as an activity. I call it a mindful hobby. So this is the slide that I use when I teach, and also we use when I teach with my colleagues. Mindfulness can be more than meditating. There are two steps. First, you write down a list of things you do for fun, purely for fun. For example, maybe watching a movie, go shopping, cooking, go hiking, fishing, playing video games, playing soccer, watch YouTube, things like that. You do for fun, you do in your leisure time. And then you ask yourself these three questions. Do any of these involve being in the present moment? Do any of them involve stress relief? Do any of them give you a sense of accomplishment? Okay. If we have more time, we can do an interactive mode, but it's okay. So it's a very good strategy and activity that you can take home and ask yourself if any of these activities, your hobby, can help you to do these three functions. If you have all a yes, then that's your mindful happy hobby. Then you can use that to take care of yourself mentally. So you know this animation, and I want to use the concept of Tai Chi to say balance is not static. So far, we talk about physical, emotional, and mental self-care. All of these are not static. It's dynamic. So sometimes this way works for some people, sometimes it's not for you. But as time goes, as you are in different stage of life, some strategies may work for you, which didn't work before for you. And also allow yourself to feel the stress. It is okay. Allow yourself again to feel the negativity. It is okay. And sometimes it is okay to not be okay. Yes, just as that. It's okay to not be okay. And you know how to support yourself. You know what are other resources to support yourself. And now you know how to take better care of yourself in different dimensions. So some images I found online, they reminded me of the importance of mental and emotional self-care. I love this sentence. Little by little, it all comes together. And we want to restore our center. We want to keep our own energy. There are different kind of energy tasks. Some are energy takers, some are energy givers. And it's generally like this. But again, it differs from person to person. It may be different for you, and you may have your own list, and you can create your own image of it. Now I want to talk about social self-care. Whether you are an extrovert or introvert, everyone needs to be socially well. Try to socialize outside of your class and make new friends. Um, one of the secrets in a happy life is that you have a group of good friends, a group of friends you like to hang out with, you enjoy to spend time with, right? And I know nowadays it's really easy for us to just stay all day long at the desk and work and do all the screen stuff and scroll the phone. But do you help yourself to talk to a real human from time to time? For example, as I mentioned, I have fitness class friends. And it's funny to say that I also have free food friends because here at the OSU, we have workshops from time to time every week for different purposes. Like we do have wellness workshop. Um, we have technical workshops, like teaching you how to do job interview or how to do those job application, all different topics. And when we do, it usually provides with free lunch. So it's also a way to help you to feel relaxed and to help you to just get out of that door, out of your apartment and talk to real people and not to talk about academic again and to feel your life, to feel other people's life, to know about their life and really care about them, know about them. So people feel better because everyone wants to be listened, everyone wants to be understood. And remember to encourage your friends and family to practice this self-care as well. And I want to talk about why support system. And it's very important because, in grad school, sometimes we rely so much on our advisor. We thought that they can be our advisor, our supervisor, our mentor, our someone we can talk to when we are not so well emotionally or mentally, and we want them to be our writing coach, career coach, all of that. But it's important to know that it's nice to have someone you can always go to for everything, but in fact, it's really rare that someone can do everything for you. So that is why I stress on having a wide support system. You can have different people in your life that you can go to when you want to, improve your writing, you go to the writing center, you go to the gym, you have your fitness coach, you have a mentor, you have a career coach, you have different people in your life that really support you in different situations. So reach out to them and know that you do have those resources. And yeah, and I also believe in your institution, they do have that. So please reach out and ask. Right. And lastly, it's about spiritual self-care. Um, it differs from people to people, but I say it's generally as your faith, your passion, value, manifestation, or enlightenment in your life. So for me, I think my spiritual self-care comes from inner peace again. And every time when I feel there's peace, love, and grace inside my heart, then I feel very calm. Then I can do things. I can go back and work, and I can reconnect with people. I can reconnect with the world. So I believe that we are all little universe, but with huge power, and we create our realities. Okay, don't underestimate yourself, that you do have the power if you take care of yourself first, if you're at the peace with yourself first. And then you can be the author of your story, you write your own life. And also it's very, very important is because we are in this whole universe and we are never isolated, even though you don't go out, even though you lock yourself in a room, but you're never alone. So be kind to yourself and to others, and because you make an impact every single day. So really hold yourself accountable and believe that self-care is productivity. Whatever you need, exercise, socialization, meeting your friends, attending a family reunion, these are not wasted time. Whenever you feel you need it, please do go and sustain, because that sustains your research energy. And so productivity is about sustainability. Apparently, it's not about a burnout. And these are the ways that I share with you. And I hope it will be very helpful. And also, I do know that you all are very good at reading, writing, and researching, and all love reading books. So I have some books that I recommend that I think may be helpful. For first time, for the first one by Newport, he said, deep work is rare and meaningful, but it's when you are in the flow with something. He talks about don't take breaks from distraction. Instead, you take breaks from focus, and quit social media and finish your work by 5:30 every day. So really like being very focused and concentrate on your work during the daytime and avoid any distraction, go into that flow, go into that deep work and help yourself to have break and rest after your work. Slow productivity. It's about achieving our goals and ambitions without rushing and overloading ourselves. It leads to a more humane, balanced, and fulfilling work life while avoiding burnout. Again, you want to be productive, but you don't want to overwork and burn out. So slowing down and focusing on fewer and more important tasks. That's the gist of slow productivity. The Latham's theory, you divest yourself from that way of living and instead allow others to do what they will. So for people, if you care too much about how people think about you, talk about you when it's not necessary, I would recommend this book. She has collected different scientists and doctors' research and study, and to tell you that you can release the control about how other people think about you, talk about you, and how that affects your inner peace. And in the end, so that you can feel more settled and feel more peace. And finally, this is a little bit old book. It's in 2008, but I really love this one, The Power of Now. Again, to live in the present, to find inner peace and happiness, you must focus on present moments, as the past and future are only mental constructs that cause suffering. So especially, I love the part that he mentioned to let go of your ego. When you let go of your ego, you let go of your worry and anxiety. Okay? And this is the very last slide, and it's a sentence I hope you can carry with you. I do want to say that this perspective is very US based, so please feel free to share with me your insights or experience of how to take good care of yourself. Kindness is the most powerful form of strength, gentle but unforgettable. It means that true strength doesn't always look aggressive, loud, or dominate. Sometimes it looks like compassion, patience, and empathy. And kindness is strength. Being kind takes courage sometimes, you would say, right? Especially when it's easier to be indifferent or harsh or, in today's society. But kindness may feel soft or quiet in the moment, but it leaves a lasting impact. So choose kindness, especially in difficult situations. It's a strength. Kindness is a strength. It can inspire, heal, and transform far more than any else force that ever could. So remember that being kind takes courage. Be kind to people around you. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle. Be grateful. Give yourself some grace because you're worth it. Your well-being matters the most. Wonderful. And I'm happy to connect. And this is my LinkedIn. And thank you all so much. I hope you're all very well.
Thank you, Jennifer, for your wonderful talk, and thanks for sharing all those useful resources. And I believe everybody has some useful takeaway. We already get a question from Bria. She asked, how do you differentiate between pushing yourself, growth mindset, enduring through hardship, resilience, and knowing when to pause, self-care, and how do you know which one you need in the moment? Is it a gut feeling, or are there any ways to reflect about these needs? It's in the chat.
Yeah, thank you, Ria, for a great question. As I said, I'm very open to your perspectives or different people's perspective from different culture, because I think it's more about how you were educated, how you were cultivated and raised up, and where you pursue your graduate school and all scholarly career, and that all the factors can contribute to how you think and how your belief system and your mindset can be. So I wouldn't say that I would be open, but my personal experience is that as I keep repeating that inner peace is key to me. So I can feel if I'm at peace or I'm not. I can feel that if this is the right calling for me to do something or pursue something, the goal that I really want. And if that is really what my calling is, I would do everything I can. I would try my very best. So I think that's where I show the resilience. even though I personally have, encountered a lot of difficulties. If you're interested, I can talk it later after this, during the grad school. So, and I knew that that was my resilience, that was my faith, as I mentioned, spiritual self-care. That was my faith, that was my passion, that guided me through all the difficulties. And knowing when to pause self-care and how to know which one I need in a moment. Yes. I think it's pretty straightforward. There's no one know better than you yourself, who know yourself, right? So that is why it's really important to divert the focus on you yourself. So oh, I know the ways how to take care of myself in different ways. And there's example like I feel my day is much better if I read a few pages of book, not about my research, but about book I would like to read, like the books I share. And then I feel so good. I feel much better. Then I can go to sleep. Yeah. So that's one way. And I also feel much better when I can really go to the fitness class or the gym, like I move my body often, then I feel good. So yeah, I think it would be kind of a gut feeling of your life experience can tell you when to do what and when to take care and when to stop. Hope that answers your question.
And thank you. I think so. She just gave you a thumbs up as well.
Thank you.
And any other questions? And I saw Vahil also said you have a few questions.
Right. Yes. Thank you very much, Jennifer. This was a very good talk. I took some notes. There were very good strategies. I'm sure that they will be useful if we just stop a little bit or slow down and start thinking about how to use them in our life and in our career. One question that basically I have is about the wide support system that you talked about. It's a very interesting concept. I liked it. Now, I can't help thinking that, nowadays in academia or even outside of academia, one of the pillars of support has become, which has become very widespreadly used, is AI. People go to AI for almost everything, for academic work, for consultation, for everything, literally everything. I was wondering if you have any thoughts on that. Do you think AI is a reliable, generally speaking, large language models, for example, do you think that they are reliable nodes in that support system, or would you not rely on them as much as you would rely on a human?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. Briefly, I think AI is beautiful, but dangerous at the same time in terms of how to keep you in a well-being status. Because I know now people not just use for research or work, they use or knowledge or searching, they use it for as a companion or when they are very down or they even have a relationship with like imagined relationship with the AI so that they can feel better. And in that way, I think it's very beautiful. It's very romantic. And I think it's wonderful for people, whoever work for them. But at the same time, I have this concern and caution that since we are human, as I mentioned all the time, that the feelings, experience, mind and body connection or mind brain connection, that we are human, we have flesh and blood and our real heart. We may put too much of everything into the robot, the machine, and really think that it is a human. Even though we know it's machines human-like, it's very much like human, more and more these days. But we need to know it's not human, and you need to get out the door and talk to the real human. Yeah, like in-person interaction really matters for us. I think it won't change. It will stay so true for humans. We need this in-person, face-to-face connection. That's my opinion. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you very much. Great. I think there are more questions in the chat box.
Yeah, asked what strategies can help establish healthy sleep habits while managing the pressures and late nights.
I know, I feel you, because I'm also working on this, because I always like thinking back to my undergrad years. It's like I had such a healthy habit. Like I go to bed very early and get up early, but now, you know, sometimes the deadline is recess, a lot of things you want to do, and you go to bed so late. Sometimes it's because you don't allow yourself to go to bed early. You know what I mean, right? It's like you want to write more, you want to study more, you want to read more, you want to do more, and you think I can finish it in an hour or half an hour, 2 hours, but in the end it takes 3 hours or 4 hours, and then you can't go to bed and then you can't sleep. So in the book of Deep Work and Slow Productivity, he mentions about these. For example, he said, if you usually have the situation that you realize you need more time, like you thought you scheduled for 2 hours, but in the end you use 4 hours to complete a task, then you schedule 4 hours. Next time, you schedule more time. You always schedule more time for the task. Then you have that sufficient time and resources to help yourself to get through that. So if that works, then that may help your sleep. Then you can go to bed earlier and feel less stressed. And second is the mindset that if you go to bed early, you don't lose anything, really. And on the other hand, you actually gain more energy, a better mood, and more time the next morning. We can try this, and I think it will work for you, and because that's how we humans are designed. Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, Hui Qing also asked that what is your advice on having guilt on when taking breaks? I can't seem to kick the feeling of guilt, knowing that the time could be used on work instead, even though I also know that I need the rest. Yeah, so true.
Yes. Very true, very true. Because I was in the same situation with my first and second grade year in a PhD program. Yeah, I always have this sense of guilt. Even now, I feel guilty when this also reconnects to the previous question about going to bed late, manage the pressure at late nights. Is because you feel this sense of guilty so that you don't allow yourself to go to bed early. You feel this sense of guilty so that you want to do more to prove that you're worth it. You're valuable and you are good at this and you can achieve this A, B, C, and C. So again, a good mindset is to accept who you are and love who you are. And please do believe in yourself that there's more energy and there's better life if you can take care of yourself and go to bed, have enough sleep, then you can be more productive the next morning. Yeah, it takes practice.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, I guess we are also approaching the end of the scheduled time. But you have more questions?
Just wanted to thank Jennifer and ask one last question from myself. There may be others as we will discuss this question. There may be other questions coming in, particularly about students at graduate school, PhD and MA students, especially those who are doing their dissertation or thesis. Yeah, I mean, you definitely touched on that. You talked about it. Ultimately, if you wanted to choose a few, maybe 2 to 3 important pieces of advice for them to take care of their well-being, what would it be? based on your experience and based on what you have read and studied so far?
Yeah, of course. First and foremost, keep the faith. Keep the faith in yourself in whatever you do. I sort of touch upon that. Please do believe in yourself. You have all the good reason to where you are now, and keep that faith, maintain that faith, and practice that faith. So I say practice that faith is like, don't self-sabotage, don't sabotage yourself, and don't do that trash talk to yourself. You do positive talk to yourself and always say, yes, I can. And always be open to new things, to learning, to everything, open to try new things. So that's how you practice your faith. And secondly, I'd say, yeah, just a gist of what I just shared. You eat well, you sleep well, and you move more. Do those exercise and sports. It's amazing, fascinating, and you'll be more productive after you do the exercise. And very lastly, I'd say trust your inner peace and wisdom and follow your heart. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Thanks. Great advice. Especially, I want to highlight the role of exercise and workout. I'm not sure how physically active our students are at NIE. I hope they are. I don't know, Yichin, I've never mentioned if you go to the gym or you exercise, or I know some of my students do, some of them have never talked about it. So I don't know if that means that they never work out or do exercise, or they do, but we have never had a chance to talk about it. But as you said, research shows that it has direct impacts on our health. So the less physically active we become, the less healthy we become over time. That's a very interesting finding and research that helps us achieve better well-being, especially when you're at graduate school. I do remember that I exercised quite a little bit when I was doing my PhD. And I think it helped me a lot. It has positive impacts on your mental well-being, on your physical well-being, and in combination with good nutrition, I think that is at least half of the recipe for becoming healthy and maintaining your well-being. Okay, are there any other questions? Yichin, do you have any questions yourself to ask Jennifer?
I think I'm fine. And just to assure you, I do exercise. I play squash and Pilates, so I'm fine. Okay.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
And I don't see more questions from our chat bot. So if that's so, probably we go to the end. And thanks for everyone for attending. And we wish you have a productive and enjoyable academic journey. And thank you, Jennifer, for all your sharings.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Jennifer, and all the best. So I'm gonna stop recording.